Although I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas, this podcast is not therapy and should not be used as therapeutic intervention. Many of the products and practices mentioned are for educational and informational purposes only. Should you need support, please seek appropriate, qualified, and licensed professionals. Hey y'all, welcome to Between a Hot Mess and a Therapist, the podcast where we navigate the murky waters between what society expects and what it means to truly live, embrace the messiness, the beautiful chaos of life, and celebrating the rebellion in the process. Whether you're a recent graduate, a seasoned therapist, or someone simply curious, there's something here for everyone. But before we dive in, make sure you join the Hot Mess Rebellion community where you can connect to other like-minded souls. I'm your host, Shauna Lovin, a seasoned therapist and wellness educator with a very rebellious spirit. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's rebellion. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Between a Hot Mess and a Therapist. Okay, so what if you could transform your life by dedicating just 4% of your day to self-care? Like, how would that really impact you? Like, how would this look different in your life? How would you feel? How would this make you think about life differently? I know this is not going to be our traditional, like, here is self-care. So the way I explain self-care to my clients is you have a place of self-love, which is really a place that you want to achieve in life. It's just your ultimate place. Self-care is the vehicle that you get there. So self-care are all the things that you're actually doing to get to a place of self-love. Excuse me. And so if we learn to dedicate 4% of our life to self-care, we are effectively on a journey to self-love. So let's break down the girl math, or just the math. 4% in a 24-hour day equals to 1 hour. 1 hour. Why is it so hard for us to dedicate 1 hour to self-care? I'm not really sure about that question, but I think a lot of things that kind of come into play is, you see all these people on Instagram who have like these 4 or 5 hour freaking like self-care routines, and they're getting up at like the freaking butt crack of dawn, and they're doing all these things. And then I realize, even with my own journey, I realize like you have all these people that you see on social media with this, what seems to be a magical routine. But when you try to implement that yourself, you find that you have trouble. And so something that I've learned along the way is like our self-care routines and the things that we do for ourselves have to be personal. They have to be personalized, because what is working for other people doesn't necessarily work for you. And you have to find the things that work for you. You have to find the things that help you. And so if we focus on just the 1 hour a day, you can chop that up however you choose. You can do a couple minutes in the morning, something in the middle of the day, or something, at night, or do it all together. Whatever boat floats your boat. So I have decided, like, after learning, I guess, like the math around this or what this actually means, it has helped me understand that if I am intentional every day about giving something towards that hour, then I'm effectively engaging in self-care every day. And that's something that I encourage my clients to do every day. Is every day we have to engage in self-care. Like, why do therapists have such a hard time taking their own fucking advice? I just don't understand. But So let's understand this 4% rule. So the science and the psychology behind it is like it makes 4% just a small portion of your day. It's not like we think about like, oh, I got to get self-care in and I got to do all these things. Again, this is somebody else's plan and it becomes overwhelming. But when you look at that, I'm only working towards an hour a day, you are making a smaller part. Now, caveat is the one thing I am going to tell you to try to do every day is 30 minutes of walking outside, because that within itself, one, takes care of self-care. Two, it takes care of that 30-minute mark outside. Three, you get the sunlight, which is helping with your hormone levels and vitamin D and your serotonin and your, like all the things you need. Like, so that's the only one I'm going to tell you to do. But going back to what I was saying is like, if we are focusing on that 1 hour, then we are, doing the things we need to do for our overall health and well-being. Now, there's this misconception that we have to have like these luxury self-care things that we do, like going to the spa and, doing this and spending all this money. Self-care are the things that sometimes don't cost any money. It's like freaking cleaning the house just because it was gross and you just can't stand it anymore. Sometimes it's just doing the laundry, or it's just like taking a minute to sit out back in your backyard and enjoying the view with a glass of iced tea, or we're in the South, iced tea, and just taking it in. That is self-care. We don't have to spend all this money on things to make us feel better. Yes, I am one of them sisters that, yes, I will get my hair done. Yes, I do like getting my nails done when I go. Yes, I do like massages, but is that something that I do every day or even pretty frequently? Not really. Because in the end, those are just things that, yes, they help, but in the end, there are things that just like cost money. And if you are trying to be conscious of where you're going, you are just in some ways just throwing your money away. I'm just saying, don't come at me for that one. But yes, I'm guilty of it, but I have things that I personally like to do versus what the masses are telling you should be doing. Okay, so we all know that when we engage in daily self-care, we're boosting our mental health, we got good physical health improvements, we get productive, we get creative. So we know that those are some good benefits from that. We know that we can do mindful embodiment practices, and that's something that I like doing the most, is because you are tapping into your mind, but you're also tapping into your body all at the same time. And you're being more intentional about what you're doing. So that's why yoga, meditation, and mindful breathing are kind of the top of the list when it comes to that space. You know that you can be creative. Journaling, playing music, drawing, doing other forms of like emotional self-expression in a creative manner. We know that we can get in physical activities. Remember, I just said walking 30 minutes every day. Bam, you're killing with a couple birds with one stone. The other place is social connections. Now, this one, people don't think of connecting with other people as a form of self-care. And so this is where you're spending time with people that you enjoy, your loved ones or friends, but whoever that is, you're getting something out of the relationship that is helping your overall well-being. So the thing about, I think, why a lot of people, in particular therapists, have issues with not engaging in their own freaking advice is we do not make self-care a non-negotiable activity for ourselves. We are so focused on what everyone else is doing, how we're telling everybody else to do it, other people in our life, our kids, our husband, like everyone else, and we put ourselves last on the list. This goes for moms too. Moms are very guilty of this. We put ourselves last on that list of things that we should be working towards or working on. But when you make self-care a non-negotiable activity in your life, you are putting yourself first for a change. And it's not selfish. Because if you're giving from an empty cup, how are you going to help other people? You can't do that. You can't give from an empty cup. If you need help with trying to make it more non-negotiable, try habit stacking. That's basically where you take activities that you're doing, like brushing your teeth, washing your face, things you do every day anyway, and they have become more of an automatic kind of gesture or activity for you. You add in a new activity, more of a self-care activity on top of all that. That's kind of like what habit stacking is, if you didn't know. So I would look at how are you not making self-care a non-negotiable? And that is the first thing I would immediately change. Because again, if we are not giving from a full or even a half full cup, how are you really helping other people? Like, just, I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, so we know that 4% is just a small part of your day. And so think about what are smaller activities that you can do throughout your day that can help contribute to that overall hour that you're looking for every day. And so it's just a few minutes here, a few minutes there, and in the end, that equals an hour. Maybe track your progress, set some realistic goals, look at what things are your obstacles other than making it a non-negotiable. Like, are you having time management issues? Are there any feelings around resistance? Like, do you feel like you're like not busy enough or you're unmotivated? Like, what is going on? Like, do the work around what is happening. I've been working through like I've been working with like a shadow work coach, or she works on business, but in embodiment and things like that. But her big thing is like around shadow work. And her whole thing is like, well, if we are not being honest with ourselves, that is really what the shadow is. And so this is how we are going to deal with the resistance, is understanding kind of like what is underneath all of that. It's not the lies. It's not the story that we tell ourselves. It's not that. It's what's underneath all of that. We know that when we do great self-care and we are engaging daily, we have impact on our relationships. It's positive impact there. We know that we have better work-life blend kind of happening. And then, there's just the long-term benefits of like overall health and your well-being, resilience, happiness, and all these things. So I just wanted to drop in here to give you a different spin on self-care. And it's not that, we can't achieve 1 hour a day or 4% of our life or whatever that is. But if we focus on some of the smaller aspects of things that we need to change, it can have a huge impact of what you're doing overall every day. And so I'm going to encourage you to commit to the 4% rule for 1 week and observe, how does this change your life? How does this change your well-being? Try to understand, like, if you are a morning person, a night person, like, where does that fall for you? I know for me, most days, especially, I've been a little lazy during the summer months because the kids are off. And so, you don't really have such a routine, but definitely when there's more structure and routine in the house, I get up, and after I drop my kids off at school, I go for a walk, usually 30 minutes, usually. And then I drop in the rest of my day with things that give me that time and space. And because I am an eco-based type therapist or a nature-based therapist, but probably way before I became a wellness educator, I like going outside. And so I spend a lot of my time outside. And sometimes that's just like tending to the garden. That's just, sitting out back with the tea or the coffee or like whatever you decide. That's, whatever I decide that I'm going to do, that's kind of how I spend my time. And then I intentionally make sure that every night before I go to bed, I have a little routine that I do. Wash your face, brush your teeth, the whole thing, so that you can get ready for the night, which is a way of resetting and washing off the day. Washing off other people's energy for the day. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. Find what is in your 4%. Find the things that are going to help you achieve 4% every day. Until next time. Thanks for joining today's rebellion with me. Remember, it's okay to be a hot mess sometimes. It's all part of the journey. Until next time, stay rebellious, stay authentic, and keep embracing the beautiful messiness of life. Don't forget to join the Hot Mess Rebellion community where you can connect with other like-minded souls. And anything mentioned in today's episode will be linked in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe, you share with a friend, you leave a review, and you keep coming back for more. This podcast was brought to you by Healing Roots Wellness and Botanicals. For more information, please visit healingrootswab.com.